Good morning, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to a Super Sunday special edition of our Bringing Humanity Together live stream. Again, we're so humbled and honored to be with you guys today, each and every single day of the week. But today, like I said, it is a special edition because you know why? We're having our second ever Bringing Humanity Together event coming up this Thursday, May the 4th. And it's kind of a coinky dink, if you can believe it or not. It's May the 4th. Like, may the force be with you. So it's going to be a twofer when you think about it in and of itself. So again, we are so humbled and honored to have each and every single one of you on today's broadcast of the announcement. We're going to be having, again, another event this Thursday, May 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I will be posting that link to that event later on today. But I wanted to share with you guys today on Super Sunday our very first event here at Bringing Humanity Together about conversations for curiosity and everything like that. So I wanted to bring that to you guys today. So sit back, relax, enjoy the great and engaging conversation. And more importantly, we would love to hear from you when it shows up for you when you hear conversations of curiosity. What shows up in that kind of thing resonates with you? Is it curiosity? Is it amazement? Is it wonderment? Is it all the above, if not more than actually all that in tow? I truly believe everything is interconnected to everything else. So here is our very first event here at Bringing Humanity Together. We wanted to share it with you guys, share it with the world. So sit back, relax, enjoy the conversation. We would love to hear from you. What does conversation of curiosity look like and mean to you? So here is our event of conversations of curiosity.
So that's the plan.
And also when other people come on and we can see them jumping on Zoom and everything like that, the first thing we need to let people know that this is being recording for future, so people
Yes,
will
you have to
know
explain.
because,
Yeah, you have to explain that we are recording just to let people know from a disclosure point of view.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kimberly will be getting on here momentarily. I just sent her a message, so she's going to be on here in a minute.
All right, and I'm just going to give my boys some notice to tell them that they've got to get it out of this office in a few minutes. It won't be a minute.
All right, very good. Alrighty. So,
Dallas, what does your sign say? Nothing, I'm possible. What?
It says nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible.
Nice.
And then she has another one in another room that is really amazing.
Yeah, I've got them all over the house. Well, I'll be leaving them. We've just listed our house, our property for sale, or we're about to. So someone else will inherit those.
You know what you should do, Dallas? Since if you're going to move, I would do is I would take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then when you go into your new place, you can be able to put that back in your new place.
That's right. Or I'll just buy another one. They're transfers. So I'll just, once I set up wherever my new office will be. But
okay, hold on.
Exciting you're moving. Oh my gosh, Dallas.
It is really exciting, actually. It's a lot of hard work getting your house ready for photos and stuff like that. But yeah. And I was away all this week in Auckland for work, which is out of town for us. And so my husband was left with doing the final stuff, and he did an amazing job. So yeah, but he's a bit shattered from it. So.
All right. Barry is here. I just admitted him.
And Barry is here. Hello, Barry.
I can't see him yet. or hear him.
Yeah, he's just on mute, so I imagine he's trying to figure out the settings. Maybe there he is.
Hello, Barry. How you doing?
All good.
All right, very good, very good.
Oh, you can hear, right, that's fine. You can hear me, obviously. I was going to
Hey,
use
Kimberly.
semaphore or,
Yeah.
like
And
Kimberly.
there is Kimberly.
Write notes, put it up on the screen.
Yeah.
All right, Isabel, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Please.
All
I'm
right.
assuming I should do speaker view. Dallas.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yep. That's probably not a bad idea.
Okay.
You can
Kimberly,
put us
where are
all
you at
underneath
today?
one another as well. You know, you can take one of us
Mm.
out and you can move us up and across and down. You have to make like the old puzzle.
Yeah. So, Kimberly, where are you at today?
I am in my office. I normally am upstairs. I'm in my office and I was working on developing some concepts for my studio. So yeah.
Oh, nice, nice. All you just need now is the big logo on a green screen behind you for Bring Humanity Together. There you go.
Well, you know what? We could actually take that, right? And do you have that? You could share it with all of us. We could put it all for our backgrounds.
Well, let me see. Let me go to the.
How
You
do
may
I
have
do
to
that?
download it. So let me find out where I can do that at. Go to my
Yeah. Okay.
OneDrive and see if I can OneDrive and see if I can pull this bad boy up.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't know why. I've never been allowed to upload any images to Zoom to add my own backgrounds. So
You've got to go into video settings.
yeah,
little
I'm in there.
arrow next
I'm in
to-
there, Barry.
yeah.
No, I'm in there. It says you cannot upload images or videos due to restrictions placed by your admin. I'm the admin
Whoa.
of my own account. So, and I've
Yeah.
never been able to figure out how to get around it. I've tried for a couple of years. And I gave up. I
Okay.
just went, even when I had a paid version, same problem showed.
Right. Okay. So obviously your laptop or your computer hasn't got that kind of pixel memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
If
can
you-
on other
you
other things, just not Zoom.
Yeah. See, it's weird because my Zoom is a bit
can do that.
crystally, right? And other media platforms, when I've done video calls, it's like crystal clear.
Yeah.
And if I put a virtual background on, then I all go sort of, he's melting.
Hey, Jeff.
All right. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can be able to
Hello.
share with anybody, but what I'll do is when it goes into the actual picture, what I'll do is I will post it in our chat room groups and also in our community group later down the road. But for people who want to end up using that as a virtual background, we can do that for future calls and everything.
Yeah.
So- all right, very good. And hello, Jeffrey.
How you doing?
How are you doing today on Transformational Thursday?
Another fun-filled day at work. Heading home.
There you go.
And
There you
jump in.
go. All right. And just to let everybody know, this call is being recorded for two purposes. Number one is where people can actually, who wants to end up watching this as a replay later on, we can send that to them and everything like that. And the other purpose of it is when we can actually share this with the BHT community as a whole. We're going to do it in probably either bits and chunks and that kind of thing, or we just probably pull it out there for everybody to see. And mind you, we're going to be doing this in a kind of two-tiered kind of dynamic. Number one, we're going to have a group session of it where we'll be discussing some things and everything like that. And then we'll go into breakout rooms and everything like that. And this is all going to be totally ran by Isabel, Dallas, and Kimberly and Jody K. I'm just basically emceeing this event today. So I'm just going to just take the reins that way and everything like that. So Isabel, any more details that everyone should know?
No, that's perfect. All good.
All right. Very good. Very good.
We'll
Very
just wait a few minutes to allow people to join in.
good. Okay.
It's not quite 3 o'clock yet, so.
No, it's
Okay.
not. No, it's not. That is good. but as they say, it's 3 o'clock somewhere. No, excuse me. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere.
It is 5
Oh,
o'clock somewhere.
I know it's almost 9 o'clock here.
Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah, on a Friday. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm dialing in from the future.
Dialing in from the future. Oh my god! I can see
Gives
we
you
can
hope
do one.
tomorrow will come, everyone. Tomorrow will come. It's it's
Yeah.
a reality.
And you guys, like the Australians, you celebrate New Year's Day twice. When I speak to my Auntie Diane in Australia, she has
Yeah.
it before us, and then we phone her at midnight, and she can have another lot.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You can.
Alrighty.
Better
Alright.
still if it's your birthday. Celebrate your birthday twice. I quite like that idea.
All right,
Alright, people are-
we'll be starting this thing off here in just a few minutes. Everyone will be joining in at the 3 o'clock hour and everything like that. And we're going to have close to over 25 people who are going to be here. One of which is a restaurant manager out of Fuzzy's Taco Shop. So he'll be joining us today too as well. So I sent him the link yesterday. So he'll be joining in from either his office or actually out in the road, wherever he's at and everything like that. So we're going to have a great number of people and everything like that. So we'll be kicking this thing off here shortly and everything. And I will go into the event and say, we are live.
Okay.
Yes,
Have I
we
got time to
are.
go down and make a quick coffee on my
Yeah,
Sure.
do whatever you got to do.
Okay. I'll be 2 seconds.
Does everybody have their Mentimeter ready?
I have my Mentimeter already installed on Zoom.
We don't need it installed to use Mentimeter.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
present
so-
the Mentee slides, and no one needs to have it installed or anything like that. You'll follow the instructions. It's just as an internet search, and it'll come up on your device or whichever device you choose, your phone, your computer, and it'll come up and show you and guide you through what to do. Yeah. But yeah, you can't. No one else will know that, Kimberly, until it gets shared with them. So everyone can do it at the same time. It's all right.
Yeah, so when I ask the question, right, then
Mm.
Dallas, you can give
I'll
them
share.
instructions. Yeah.
Yeah.
On how to do that. And I'm going to try to keep it to an hour. Like end it. Wrap it up.
I see we have Carla here and we have David here.
Hey, Chris.
How
Hey,
you doing,
everybody.
Carla?
Good. I was sitting on another page and it says event getting ready to starting soon. And I'm like, it's 3 o'clock. I don't think I'm on the right page.
All right, no worries, no worries. How you doing today, David?
Yeah, not bad, man. Looking forward to this event. Looking forward to the
All
event.
right, very good, very good. Hello, Mark. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well too. Thanks, Chris. Hello,
All right,
everyone.
very good, very good. So let's get some particulars out of the way. Again, thank you for everyone for joining us today in our first ever LinkedIn/Zoom community call rooted in conversations for curiosity. It's going to be hosted by Isabel, Jody K, Kimberly, and Dallas there in New Zealand. So they are going to be taking the reins. I'm only going to be emceeing on a couple of things that where Isabel's going to ask me to do a couple of things, everything like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing here today. And then also to let everybody know, this call is being recorded for a two-phase purpose. Number one, if any other of you want to have the actual recording of this, please reach out to Isabel and she will make sure that you will get this recording so you can either post it on your social media or whatever, that kind of thing, and get that done. And the other dynamic for that is then when we release this to the world, depending when that's going to be, next thing you know, we can do it in bite-sized chunks and that kind of thing, or we release it to everybody in the world and everything like that. So that's the reason why we're going to have this thing call recorded. And also, we're going to be doing this in a kind of two-tier dynamic integration fashion. Number one, we're going to have a kind of a discussion on a couple of things, and then we'll break out into breakout rooms and going to come back. And that's the way it's going to end up flowing and everything like that. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, please just tag one of the ladies in the chat or myself, and we'll help you along the way in and of itself. Hello, Justine. How you doing today?
Hi. So good to be here. Hi, everybody.
It is glad to see you here again. How are you doing?
I know. I'm well, thank you. How are you? I'm so happy to be here with you all.
I am so humbled and honored that you're here too as well, and everything like that. This is going to be a great thing. And I see we have a couple more people, and what we'll do, just for kind of knowing everybody kind of purposes, what we'll do is we'll go around the room, kind of introduce yourself, and then we'll get right into the conversation. How's that sound, Isabel?
I think we're going to be close in time, so I think
that's fine. Either way, whatever works for you works for me.
But we can certainly talk now about, the folks here that are bringing humanity together. If they want to jump in and say something, there are some new people joining. And so, Chris, why don't you tell our new friends what is bringing humanity together?
Well, thank you so much, Isabel. I greatly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a vision and a mission in mind, and it started off with this one question I asked myself over 15 years ago. Should I be working with people or for people? And in and of itself, I just knew there was a different dynamic in play between working with and working for, because when you work for others, you help others get what they want, and maybe not necessarily what you want. But when you work with people and you invest in them and they invest in you, the best investment is human investment. And still to this very day and time, ladies and gentlemen, we still ain't going to put a price tag on that. And I truly believe that we can show that very value to people to such a degree. Not only can it change their hearts, not only can it change their mind, it might even change their way of being or even thinking. But again, it's about if we allow that to occur for them and everything like that. And when they invest in that kind of dynamic, I truly believe that's going to pay dividends on the bottom line of what's mattered most to them. Because I truly believe the very act of giving and the very act of receiving. And I truly believe the next currency of humanity is going to be rooted in value, not money. So that's one of the 3 epiphany moments. And if you want to know more about how all that played out, I would definitely like to have a one-on-one with each and every single one of you. But I will turn back over to Isabel, and let's get this show on the road.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it. My name is Isabel Zimmerman, and I am a full-time Ascension teacher. And all that means is that I assist folks here on the awakening process. So I create courses, I do videos, I'm part of this group, whatever it is, to bring greater clarity and awareness on your journey here. Okay, this is being recorded, and I am going to ask everyone to mute if possible. I don't know if, let's see, here we go. Let me just mute a few people. Great. All right. Super. Am I back on the screen as a speaker?
Doesn't show it that way, but you'll be okay.
Okay. So, okay.
You gotta probably make yourself a host.
Make myself a host.
Well, it all depends on how people have their view screen set up, but we see
It
you
is,
you're
yeah.
speaking.
Yeah,
Chrissy, I
and you're already the host under here. So yeah, you're right, Carla. I just discovered that before when I was private messaging Isabel, going, "Oh, maybe we should go group view." It was my side that I had it at speaker view, so I had to change it, not Isabel. So it is. If people want to change that view, they go up to the view in the top right-hand corner, and they can choose speaker or gallery view, depending on which they would prefer.
Awesome. All right. So this was an inspiration. Chris, we have weekly meetings of bringing humanity together, and Chris brought this video to this community of bringing humanity together. And Chris, can you go ahead and play the video for everyone?
I will do that. Let me bring that up and share my screen. Go to Google Chrome, and you guys here on Google Chrome is how do you take, okay, hold on. Let me go out of this right here and do this. This will be even easier. So I can go, where is it at? Right here. All right. Because I got too many tabs on my screen. You know how that goes. So I got that going.
It's all okay. So this video is only 3 minutes. Julia Dar did a TED Talk. There is a longer version of this speech on TED Talk, but for our purposes, she's going to bring up 3 points, and we are going to deep dive into this video. All right, so just pay attention for about 3 minutes.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready, Chris.
Okay, here's Julia Dar from her TEDx conference about 5 or 6 years ago on Curious Conversations and her take on that. Here she is.
We need to figure out how we go into conversations, not looking for the victory, but the progress. Constructive conversations that really move the dialogue forward have these same 3 essential features. First, at least one party in the conversation is willing to choose curiosity over clash. It is so tempting to run headlong at the disagreements. But you've probably noticed too, that in real life, that tends to make people shut down. So instead, you might consider the curiosity conversation. The next time that someone says something you instinctively disagree with, you only need 1 sentence and 1 question. I never thought about it exactly that way before. What can you share that would help me see what you see? What's remarkable about curiosity conversation is that the people you are curious about tend to become curious about you. They begin to wonder what it is that you see and whether they could see it too. We need to think about conversations as a climbing wall. If you go into the discussion with the expectation that everyone else walks out with the point of view that you walked in with, there's no chance for progress. The expectation is that your idea gets better through challenge and criticism. That's what successful negotiators do as well. They go into conversations expecting to learn from the challenges that they will receive, to use objections to make their ideas and proposals better. But there are some situations where it just feels like it's not worth the bother. And in those cases, it can be because the purpose of the discussion isn't clear. Inviting people to inhabit a future possibility opens up the chance of a conversation with purpose. Lay out our vision for the future. Make a decision, get funding. Is understood by both parties. Then you can begin to move on. Amid the cacophony of cable news and the awkwardness of family dinners and the hostility of corporate meetings, each of us has the opportunity to choose curiosity over clash, to expect development of your ideas through discussion, and to anchor in common purpose. That's what really world-class persuaders do, to build constructive conversations and move them forward. It's how our world will move forward too.
Thank you, Chris. Okay. So Julia made some really good points. And if you didn't remember the points,
We need
it's
to figure
okay.
out how we go into.
I'm going to gently remind you around her points. So her first point that she spoke about is curiosity over clash, to take a stance of curiosity, right? And my goodness, doesn't that sound wonderful? Like, just take a stance of curiosity in all your conversations, in all your experiences, right? And then the next point she said was, notice that a conversation is like a scaffold, that your perspective or your viewpoint or your conversation is just a scaffold that you can allow it to change. Again, that sounds wonderful, right? So you are in alignment and that you can be open to new ideas, right? Because you're taking a stance of curiosity. And then the last one is set a goal, set a purpose. Well, I'm going to set a goal and a purpose for us. My goal, or our goal here, is to have insightfulness and great conversations and deep diving into why this is not so easily to execute when we are in conversations with each other, whether it's with your daughter, your brother, your coworker, a doctor, a stranger. And in those moments, gee, it would be wonderful if we could remember these 3 points and be in alignment. So now I'm going to ask you all a question, and I will repeat it a couple of times because you guys are going to play with each other. I'm going to put you out in breakout rooms. And in doing so, you're going to have a discussion in the breakout rooms answering this question. And then you're going to come back and then you're just going to share with us what was a consensus. All right. If you wish, somebody wants to write this down. Absolutely. You can write this question down and get a pen and paper. It's not a big deal. But what is a purpose of a conversation? The question is a purpose of a conversation? What do you think that purpose is? Right? Okay. So I am going to create a room. I'm going to create 3 rooms. And I'm so sorry, guys. I'm new to creating rooms. Choose all
That's all right.
rooms.
How long do we have the conversation for?
About 3 or 4 moments. 3 or 4 minutes, guys.
Okay. Thanks.
Dallas, I told everyone I can only listen. That's fine, Lori. And so happy you're here, Lori Levy. I thought I could manually, not manually, but have it automatically assigned.
Yeah.
I had an invite and it went away on my screen.
Same. Were you in room 1?
I think so.
You want to just try that again, Isabel, because it did pop up for us.
All right. So room 1. Hold on, kids. All breakout rooms. We'll close in 5 seconds. All right. So let it go. Okay. Open all rooms.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. And then you guys can just choose a room, 1, 2, 3, or 4.
And we're back.
So there's 4 rooms. Does anyone Can you go into a room? Chris, can you go into a room?
I was already in one room already. So how many people do we actually have on the call?
We have like 14,
Okay.
12
So you-
participants.
Okay.
So I opened up 4 rooms and it didn't,
We went to the room, Isabel. We were in the room, but all of a sudden the room closed. So we can just use the time here too.
yeah, we'll just use the time here. So thank you. Sorry about the rooms, guys. I was hoping to automatically assign you. But Kimberly, what is the purpose of a conversation? What do you think the purpose is?
So for me, the purpose of a conversation is to come to that conversation with an idea. And then when we have the idea, it's to share perspectives. And then it's through the sharing of the perspectives that something is created. It's almost like we're co-creating something together. For me, that's the purpose of a conversation.
I love it. And what about you, Justine? What do you think is the purpose of a conversation?
I think there are so many purposes to conversation, so it's hard to pick. It's like picking my favorite kid. You know what I mean? It's really hard to do. I love what you said, Kimberly, and I only caught part of it, but I think like for me, I always want to learn in a conversation. So having awareness of what someone else is thinking and believing, and either questioning my belief system or deepening into my beliefs based on what I'm hearing, learning either from them or about me or together, can be a really powerful purpose of a conversation. And I've noticed that, you know, it was interesting, Isabel, when you said earlier, I wrote this down, like, it's not easy to be curious all the time. And I think, why isn't it easy? Well, sometimes we forget that there's value in learning. And sometimes we don't feel like we need to learn anything at the moment, or we feel sort of like a displacement of weight on what we need to learn versus what we believe someone else might need to learn in that moment. And so we forget to be rooted in that curiosity. And so I try to remind myself when I enter into a conversation that this is an opportunity for growth on my side, on their side, and collectively between the two of us. And so, you know, being in that sort of mindfulness, it starts off as a practice before it becomes a habit. So you have to keep that top of mind every single time you enter in, like, what am I here to learn? What am I being given? What am I creating from this? And really just having that mindfulness and that attunement to what other people are looking for as well.
Oh my gosh, Justine, I freaking love you.
Same.
So,
feeling is mutual.
Dallas, let's go into the Mentimeter because she set us up perfectly. What does curiosity mean? So Dallas is going to go ahead and show us Mentimeter and how to get on. And so we're all going to participate.
Right. There's a website at the top, so you can either use your phone or your computer, whichever works best for you. You type in www.menti, which is MENTI.com, and when that comes up, you'll be prompted to enter in a code, and that code is presented at the top of the screen for you, and that unlocks the ability for you to answer that question.
Give me a minute. My mobile's prehistoric. It's got Roman numerals as dials.
I'm prehistoric. Forget the phone.
Scientist, wow.
Oh, it's asking me for a new tab now. Oh, God. Right. So,
Just take your time. You're right, Harry.
okay.
Can someone guess who put magic?
got it.
Connection, yeah, learning, growth, scientists, yes, care, openness. I love it. So we can see that being curious is very powerful, right? And just as Justine had say what she said, like being mindful, right, in a conversation and learning. My next question is around this is, how can you personally take a stance of curiosity? So Justine shared with us how she takes a stance of curiosity, right, in a conversation. So Carla, what do you do, or what would you like to do to take a stance of curiosity in interacting in a conversation?
What would I like to do? When I think about conversations for curiosity, I think about some of the people that I talk to every day, or, text with or whatever. I don't think people are used to people being curious and wanting to know about them and knowing what their opinion is, or even just what they do, or, what do they like, those kind of things, to try and get to know people, to see if, maybe when you talk to people and you say this, that, or the other, we all have something in common. And it's only through those curious questions that you can actually find out what your commonality is. And you may find things that hey, I lived here, and I did too, and it's through that curiosity that you really get to know people more than just, hey, how are you? But I don't think people are used to that.
It's okay. Barry, you didn't get to put your word. All right, so Barry,
we've got two. I've got 5 words.
Well, you can still hit submit. It will still collect it. I'm just stop sharing so we could have that conversation. No, that means you've hit submit. Okay, that's all right.
No, don't lie.
Next time. We have another question coming up soon, Barry. So
yes, you're still going to play.
Don't feel bad, Barry. A lot of people took a lot of the words I wanted to use.
Yeah, don't nick my tools.
Play nicely in the box.
I love it. So actually, Dallas, a few people have just joined our conversation. Can you go ahead and put up the Mentimeter so that they can see the words? And I will just get you guys caught up. And the question was, what does curiosity mean? So we just heard from Carla, and she was talking about the question is, what does she do to take a stance of curiosity? So now I would like to hear from Jody. Jody, how do you take a stance of curiosity? What are some of your tricks you do to take a stance of curiosity in the conversation?
So I think for me personally, what I do is I really have to get my thoughts in order first. I have a very difficult time being curious about a conversation if my mind is full of thoughts that are not serving me well, or thoughts that are not very positive. So that's my first step, is I have to get my own thoughts right. And then another thing that I do personally is I allow whatever that person is saying to come into my mind, and I hear it. And then I really am very careful, and I really feel how what they're saying makes me feel. I didn't say that quite right, but I really examine how what they just said really makes my body feel. How am I feeling? Like, am I like feeling like, ooh, do I go like that? Or do I go, oh, because that is going to be my response. And however I interpret the feeling, that is going to cause me to act or react or respond. And I want to make sure that I respond. I don't want to react. So that's kind of how I do it. And I really have on the top of my mind is how can I leave that person with a greater impression of increase? How can I do that for them? So if I keep that thought first, instead of all those other ones that might fill up my head, that's going to help that whole process.
Oh my gosh, Jody, I love you so much. There was so many things in that, and just let me unpack it. So Jody was talking about going into a conversation, tuning into herself and her vibration, tuning into a love frequency and alignment, right? Jody's using different language than me, so don't get caught up on the words that I use. But she was really saying that she was taking a stance of curiosity by understanding how she's feeling and how she wants to be open and receptive. And she wants to, what you said, you didn't want to react. You wanted, what was your words?
I don't want to be reactive to whatever is being told to me. I want to be able to respond. So you wanted to respond with an interaction with a person, right? Yeah.
That's called being reciprocal.
Yes. And what about you, Barry? How do you take a stance of curiosity? Are there any tricks that you can share with us?
Well, it's not tricks, it's mirror and match. If I speak to someone in a certain tonality, I expect that tonality to come back. If it doesn't, that means I position myself incorrectly. So I then need to take a step back, listen to them, and then find out where I can fit back in.
Yes. So you're very aware,
of course,
of the vibration of that person, right? And
yes.
You're listening and you're attuning to their tone and what they're saying, right?
But I need it to be reciprocal and I need it to be open. Otherwise, I can't come back. It then just becomes a one-way street. They just go, 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 go. And I go, listen, listen, listen. What value do you want me to give to you? I can't give you any value if you don't give me something to work with.
Which, thank you, Barry. You have set me up for the very next question perfectly.
Sorry.
No, it's perfect, Barry. You didn't even know. So why is it hard?
Or maybe I did.
You did. You did know, right? Why is it hard to take a stance of curiosity? So again, this is going to be interactive. If you have not signed in to menti.com, you can just do it on your phone and just type in menti, MENTI.com. There's the cute little code right there, 7222-6496. And then you can submit your one word. Okay, thank you so much. I love it. Maybe it's our ego. Yes. What others will think of me, judgment. We might not be willing to put aside our bias. Yes. It's not our default setting. We have to consciously choose it. You have a fixed mindset. Myself. I love it. Vulnerability, failure.
Vulnerability, that's a really good one.
That is a really good one. Absolutely. We'll give it a few more moments for those to type in why it is hard to take a stance of curiosity. So notice what I would like to say is when Julia was making those 3 points, right? She was like, curiosity over clash. And we all saw that curiosity was very loving and open. Like if you looked at the words of what does it mean to be curious, it was very open, right? So you would think, oh, well, that would be easy, right? But we uncover why is it hard to take a stance of curiosity. So then, you know, the beautiful souls here sharing what they do to be open and loving and mindful in a conversation. What happens to humanity is that because we are worried about judgment, we are worried about what others think of us, our filters, our experiences. And for me, I run into that inner child, that ego. Your experiences in this incarnation is that you do not feel safe. It really is when you cannot take a stance of curiosity, is because you don't feel safe. And if a person needs to be right, the ego is defending your persona. The ego wants to be right. So let's take a look at that. Why do you think the ego needs to be right? Anyone?
Well, for me, Isabel, ego is a big thing. And David has mentioned this many times on our LinkedIn audio too as well. Because ego, if we don't keep it in check, and literally it'll overtake us of what we do and why we do things, then it's going to take us down to a path. And I have to say it because it's Star Wars and it just resonates with me right now. Ego is almost like the dark path forever will dominate your destiny. And if we let that dominate us to such a degree, then it's going to always show up to that kind of dynamic that we always will almost like be putting ourselves in those holes each and every single time, or we're thinking that we're better than other people because we know more than them and they're not valued enough, and that kind of dynamic. And when we are willing to let go of that ego, I truly believe we will get more intuitive and more in sync with people to such a degree. It's like what Barry said earlier in the beginning of this call, that we can become literally a mirror to others to such an extent. It's almost like what really sparked my interest into this whole conversation to begin with from Julia Dar's video is when she said that once she said, we want to see what others see. And I truly believe in that when it comes from a place of ego. If we can set aside that ego, I can be able to see what you see, and I want you to see what I see, and then we can all see what we should all see.
Right. So the awareness is whether you have a conversation with anyone, and Barry touched upon this, that everything is a reflection, right? So we are reflecting each other. And the reason why we have biases or a filter, it's okay. We all have filters. We all have different perspectives. And it's the different perspectives, if I can just share with all of you, give yourself some grace. Allow yourself some grace that you have a different frequency and different beliefs. And if you can allow yourself to be as is, guess what happens? You can allow others to be as is, right? So taking a stance of curiosity, I'm going to bring this to you, my beautiful souls out here. It's about self-love. It's not even about the outcome of a conversation, the purpose, the alignment. When you have a conversation with another, you are expressing your light, your love. And so if you can love you in any moment, you can allow that authenticity be reflected back because you feel safe within yourself. The other can feel safe with you. Now, I am not saying that, yay, this is going to be easy. Not at all. But I'm just asking, this is a deeper dive. Sure, it would be great to do those 3 points: alignment, purpose on a conversation, taking a stance of curiosity. But of course, it's always deeper. Of course, because it's just your frequency and vibration, your beliefs, your ideas, your experiences in this incarnation and others is part of your soul field of who you are. And you're all magnificent. You're all beautiful and amazing. It's just you don't feel it all the time. And that's okay. Go ahead, Barry.
And we had Kimberly and Dave, waiting
okay.
patiently for a while with their hands up. If we could honor Kimberly first, if that's okay, Barry, then Dave, and then Barry, that would be marvelous.
So for me, I love this example. I love the example. You know, my husband often looks for ketchup. Why, I have no idea, but he often looks for ketchup. So he opens the fridge and he looks in the refrigerator. But before he opens the refrigerator, he's already got a belief in his mind. And that belief is that the refrigerator is not organized. I am not going to find the ketchup. So we can apply this example to this conversation. So what happens is he opens the refrigerator and I don't even I just know what the conversation's going to be. Where's the ketchup? So how many times are we having a conversation and we're saying, where's the ketchup? Because we go into the space of the conversation with our core beliefs. And there's no judgment, like you said, there's no judgment about it, but it's about accepting ourselves as is, knowing that fact, owning that fact, being responsible for that, and knowing that, you know what, we can grow. So maybe one day, I know, I have faith. My husband's going to open the refrigerator and he's going to find the ketchup.
Because he believes, Kimberly, he's going to believe he is worthy of that ketchup, that the refrigerator is perfectly organized. It is there right where he left it. He just has to believe. I love the catch up story. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Dave, go ahead. You're next.
And Dave, you're on mute.
Sorry, this is my first Zoom call in probably 2 years. But first, I just want to say thank you for having me. This is a blessing. And I absolutely love ketchup. That's my Frank's Red Hot. I put it on everything. Yeah, I guess, just to touch on the curiosity thing, curiosity, my name's David Real. I like to keep it real. I like to keep things simple. Curiosity to me is just kind of knowing when to shut up, when to listen, and kind of just take in everything. I see value in that. I see value in, I think learning new cultures is just been so amazing to me because, I'm ignorant. I've never been outside the US, so I don't know what it's like anywhere else. And so if I could just kind of shut up and listen, I can start striking up conversations. I guess it's knowledge is power. To touch on the ego thing is, again, I'll keep it simple. Like I've been in counseling. I'm a big proponent for mental health. One of the first things I think they teach you is to, focus on what you can control. And as humans, I feel, we want to be in control of everything. And so when we're being told we're right or wrong, or when we're being told we're wrong, it's, we're not in control of what that person's thinking. So obviously, like, human instinct kicks in there. Yeah, I love ketchup. I'll end on that. Just thank you for having me.
Dave, I just want to touch upon this ego. So your ego, one of the roles of the ego is to defend your persona, your definition of you. So you are adorable, and you said you keep it real, right?
It's in my name.
So it's in your name, right? So I could trigger you by saying you're fake. And your ego might swell up because you have defined yourself as real. And it matters not, because you are real, pumpkin. You are.
You're making me blush.
I'm just showing you.
It's never been called pumpkin before.
I'm just showing you the mechanism of the ego, how it can be triggered. And it's okay. Our ego was designed for us to keep us safe. But the more awareness that you can understand of the design and mechanism within you, you might recognize someone else's ego being triggered, that they might have defined themselves as a responsible person. So if you call them or allude that they didn't take responsibility for a project and they get upset, well, wouldn't it be cute and fun to say compassion and like, oh, this is really triggering them because they've defined themselves as responsible. But here's the most wonderful thing. It matters not if you're responsible. It matters not if you're real or not. The most important thing is for you to love yourself as is in all different manners. So sometimes you might not be real and sometimes you might not be responsible. And that's okay. Can you be compassionate with yourself? Now, I know that's a little deeper, and I know this is like, conversations with curiosity, but, that is why Spirit had me have this conversation, was to have a deeper awareness, a deeper understanding. So whatever you got in this conversation or curiosity, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to wrap it up.
We just need to go to Barry. Just give him the opportunity to share with the group as well, Isabel, if we can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And anyone else after Barry.
Okay. It's not about me. That's the first thing. Isabel, you've opened a Pandora's box of paradigms. Just be one word: curiosity. And my curiosity was to become part of a group. And I love you guys for that, for allowing me to share my story, to tell you where I am now. And I wouldn't have had that ability certainly a couple of weeks ago, to be able to do that and do it from a sense of gratitude. So thank you.
Barry,
For allowing me.
love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community and sharing your insights. Dallas, you seem to have like a good speed. Does anyone else have their hand up or want to talk?
No one's got their hands raised via Zoom at the moment, but I don't know if that means that no one wants to share something before we wrap up. Is there anyone else that's wanting to share any insights about what they think about
Well, Dallas,
curious
let's go to
conversations?
Suzanne and Evie. I would love to hear from them too as well. So Suzanne, what's your thoughts on today's conversation? What shows up for you right now, Suzanne? Suzanne, are you there?
Yeah, she was on camera earlier, but I think she needed to take a call. I saw her on the phone, so not sure she'll be able to interact. What about Angela, since she's come back on camera? I know you might have entered in a little bit later in the piece, Angela, but from what you've picked up and heard, what's your thoughts on curious conversations and entering in a conversation with curiosity?
Yes, I was just talking about that with a group last night, and curiosity can disarm people who are quite have been quite difficult in a meeting, because if you show interest in them by asking curious questions about how did you feel that went, and how do you think it could have played out better, because we felt a bit of tension in the room or something like that, it gives people an opportunity to, rather than get feedback, to ask them to volunteer information about where they feel that things could have been better. And 9 times out of 10, the person, when they're not being confronted with, hey, it wasn't appropriate to yell at someone in a meeting, if you say to them, can you tell me what was going on for you? You know, I just wondered how you think that played out. Getting their opinions and input leads them to maybe volunteer that they could have done things differently, and often leads to them going, well, I might go and apologize to that person. So curious questions can allow people to open up in a conversation, and it brings conversational richness and intelligence, because you start to find out what's really going on for that person, and then there can be empathy, and then there can be connection. So that's just what I think about curiosity. It has to be come across as genuine, but if it does, then the person will feel a greater willingness to open up and share.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Angela. I couldn't agree more. And I don't know, for those people who have used curiosity in conversations, they may have experienced things that I have, where sometimes the participants that you're entering your curiosity with are quite surprised, because they don't usually come across that type of approach. And it's quite enlightening for them, because they're like, oh, you actually want to know what I'm thinking? Like, you want to know really what I'm feeling? So it's quite refreshing. And so it's lovely to be able to do that. James, what would you like to share?
So let me make sure okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool beans. So first of all, Isabella, I want to thank you for being an amazing teacher and an amazing friend. You know, I owe you a lot of gratitude for everything that you've taught me. You know, I mean that sincerely.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
And, you know, sometimes the question that we have to ask is, you know, when you ask, hey, how are you doing? People look at you like you got 3 heads. So the thing that you can ask them to really throw them off is, how are you really doing? How are you really doing? And, the thing that I've learned is when you show empathy towards people, they don't know whether to take it serious or whether to take it as a joke. Especially somebody who's not familiar with the inner child and the ego mind. Because those two want to keep you about this big. They want to keep you about that big. And sometimes you got to call them out and say, hey, what the hell's going on here? What are you doing? And, for me, I just think that spirit is so much more than just what's here. It's what is. And that's what I've really taken away from Conversations for Curiosity.
So
Well said.
James, you cut out there for a second and you were talking about spirit, and spirit is what did you say, James?
I said spirit is what is. It's all that's here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, and to quote Kenneth Littlehawk, Mohawk storyteller, he said, we are a part of all of this. We are not part from it. If I was part from it, I wouldn't need the trees to provide oxygen. But I rely on all the trees to provide oxygen.
Yes, I want to address, only because spirit is coming in, and this was multiple things that in this group has expressed. We would say the difficulty of a person receiving the curiosity that you are taking a stance and not being receptive. We would say to you, dear ones, it is just that they are uncomfortable. It is just that it is unusual because they are trying to protect themselves. And so we would say, dear ones, you are the light workers. You are leading the way. Your love and compassion allows the others to relax. And so just be patient and have a little trust and faith that they will open up with you.
Yeah.
And do not judge yourself if they do not.
Yeah.
It is all okay.
Yeah. So Jody had something to say. Go ahead, Jody.
I'll make it really fast because I know that we're coming up on an hour here, but I really just think it's so important for us to remember why it's so important for us to remain curious in our conversations. So instead of the word curious, I've always used in my vocabulary, I need to be an exploratory scientist. So what I mean by that is when someone comes at me with a comment or a discussion or a conversation that instantly doesn't feel really well, and I get that thought, ooh, I don't think I'm going to like this. Like the ketchup story, I'm not going to, the refrigerator is unorganized. That's the first thought. So I need to be an exploratory scientist and go, I wonder why I'm thinking that way. And if you can keep a handle on that curiosity, that's going to keep you from moving into a state of overwhelm during the conversation. Overwhelm is simply a sudden onset of emotions. That's all it is. And you know what? If you don't keep that overwhelm in check, you're going to move into stress during this conversation. And it just keeps going. So I think that is why it's so important to keep curiosity, to keep being an exploratory scientist at the front, at the forefront of any conversation that doesn't feel necessarily good, at least at first.
I love that, Jody. I think being a scientist and curious allows you to be open and exploring, and allows you to be like a little child, right?
Yep.
Because now you're playing. Now you're just exploring. And now you're not so attached to the outcome of a conversation, right? Because now you're a scientist.
Yes. You know, it took Edison over 10,000 tries to create the light bulb. He was an exploratory scientist. He didn't say after 10 times, this is impossible. He said the process to finding the light bulb took 10,000 steps.
And he used curiosity to get each step, right? Because he was curious to go, well, if that failed, then what wouldn't work? Yeah. Right. So he was open. His mind was open to actually discovering new ways of solving that problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's a wonderful thing. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you all my hosts and all my friends and everyone who is new here. You can join us in bringing humanity together. And Chris, would you like to end with anything?
Yes, I would. I want to ending with this, and I will put it in the comment section of today's event because it's really so powerful, and it comes from two people, both of which are here today. And I want to share both of them with you right now. The first one comes from Justine, and this is what she said when we were talking about this many weeks ago. And this is what she says. Number one, committing to learn for 10 minutes a day builds our curiosity muscle. It allows us to challenge what we do and explore new perspectives and thoughts often. Number two, conversation is better than communication. If you're really good at conversation, people remember you and pay more attention to you. This makes you a better communicator by default and more magnetic, which is great for building impact and income. And number three, great leaders know how to hold a conversation, prioritize curiosity. They are humble enough to know that they don't know a lot and open to listening to others' ideas and points of views without an agenda. They are true visionaries of our generation. And the best part is you can decide to be one whenever you like. And this other thing really shows up for me. Is from Dallas. She even said this. She said, I love this video, Chris. I'm curious conversationalist. It's the best way to build rapport quickly and to encourage others to open up. This technique works exceptionally well when defining the best way forward for a problem. The common purpose starts with understanding what the problem we are trying to solve. Once that is known and we can explore opportunities to solve it, in my experience, it helps to have one or two big picture / quick idea thinkers in the group to get the ideas flowing. And some people work better by responding to ideas and saying won't work instead of starting it from a blank canvas. Whenever I hear a challenge or opposing view, I listen, and there's normally a nugget of gold. Nuggets of gold help you achieve your goal. And that really strikes me because, again, the other component of why I created Bringing Humanity Together in the first place is this very dynamic. That connection will lead to collaboration, and collaboration will lead into community. It's all there. And I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, we're on a huge opportunity to really help humanity rise and become something far more significant, far more impactful, and far more greater, or even inspirational than we can't even possibly imagine right here, right now. And I saw that many years ago before even the pandemic hit. So I'm going to leave you with this. I think the better question to ask, even when it comes to a point of curiosity, and it's the one we've done for many, many years. We always ask each other, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? I believe we should all ask ourselves and each other this: who are you? And be curious about that. And be curious about when others ask that, not only of you, but you ask that of them. So Isabel, Dallas, Kimberly, Jody, you guys have did a phenomenal job here today. Any closing thoughts or comments that anyone would like to have before we close the call?
I just want to take the time to thank you, Chris, because you and Isabel have opened me up to a new world of opportunities that probably would have never shown to me before I even joined this. And to quote the famous Muhammad Ali when he said, "I'm going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. You can't hit what you can't see." It doesn't so much stand out to me as a boxing thing. It stands out to me as, come at me for who you are, not for what you have.
Well, we're so humbled and honored that you're a part of this, James, and we're so humbled and honored that each and every single one of you are here with us today. Now, I'm going to ask one simple thing from each and every single one of you. If you really love this conversation today and you want to be a part of this even more so, just invite one person to either our LinkedIn audio call tomorrow or one of our LinkedIn lives next week, or even our community call on Monday. And if you'd like to know how to do that, please reach out to myself or to Miss Carla or to Isabel or to Dallas or to Jody K or to Kimberly. And we would love for you to be a part of our great and growing community and movement that is bringing humanity together. Because see, I'm not doing this for me. I am not. I'm doing this for each and every single one of you, because I truly believe it's not the many that we need to seek out to create the change or be the change. It's that one that will turn into many, because many hands make light work. And when we do things together from a community dynamic, and even to this kind of point that I really truly believe in, is that when we help others build their field of dreams, they will in turn help build ours. It's just that simple. So again, I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being on this call. And like I said, we'll continue to have more of these calls moving forward. And we would love and encourage you to even want to host one yourself too as well. And if you would like to do that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and we'll make that happen. So from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together, have a great and transformational Thursday. Have a great day. Make it your day. And let's definitely talk soon. Now, I'd like to ask each and every single one of you, what did you think about today's event that we hosted a few weeks ago about conversations of curiosity? I want to hear your thoughts. Please mention them in the comments, and I would love to hear from you on that note. And also, more importantly, if these events are going to really take place with us more and more in the future, which I truly believe it will, I'm going to put this invitation out to each and every single one of you watching this on the replay, or sharing it to a group of yours, or vice versa, whatever that might be. All I can ask is just bring one person to one of our calls, whether it be our LinkedIn live streams that are done Tuesdays through Thursdays, and then our LinkedIn audio call on Fridays at 3:00. And then our other community call, which is done on Mondays via Google Meet. We would love to have those kind of curious-driven conversations, because, like I said in the video, I truly believe these kind of conversations will lead into connection, and that connection will lead into collaboration, and that collaboration will lead into community. and we can really build those field of dreams together. And I didn't say it in the event, but I was thinking it. But I want to put this out here to each and every single one of you. And it's this: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, let's go together. So from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together, we would love to see you this Thursday at 3 p.m. via Zoom. And if you'd like to find out how to do that, please message me. Like I said, I will post the event later on today and everything like that. But I wanted to share this with you guys because, like I said, this is our very first event here at Bringing Humanity Together, and there will be more to come. And I truly believe we will have those. And we will love for you to be a part of not only these live streams and community calls, but we would like for you to be a part of these events in and of itself. And if you'd like to know more, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself and we'll make that happen. So again, from all of us here, Bringing Humanity Together, have a great and super Sunday. Have a great day. Make your day. And we'll see each other on our meet and greet call tomorrow at 3 p.m. And if you want to know the details about that, send me a message and we'll make that happen too as well. So from all of us, have a great day. Make your day. From all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together. And we'll see you guys very soon for Purpose on Purpose this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time via Zoom. Have a great day, everyone.